It's down the road we go. Happy Friday. Made it to the end of the week. It's been a longish week in many respects, even though it's always the same amount of time. You know, it's all a mental thing, I suppose. Happy Friday, 9th day of October 2020. I am Dan Coons. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Big show for today. Lots going on. A lot of news to get to. Busy day around the newsroom yesterday. A lot of weather to get to. Huge changes coming. We've been talking about this for the last 3 or 4 days, so this is not going to catch you by surprise, but a dramatic shift in the weather coming our way for the weekend. But before we go any further than that, yesterday's high, Thursday's high, 79 degrees. We tied a record high of 79 degrees, which was set back in 1988. And the strange thing about it, we hit 79 degrees at about 12:30 yesterday afternoon. So it wasn't a late afternoon high, which is what it almost always is. It was a midday high, and it actually got a little cooler as the afternoon progresses, but 79. We almost hit 80 yesterday. We're done with that. Yeah, you can forget about that. Although we're going to be up there pretty good today. The record high for today is 79 degrees. We're going to be bumping up. I don't think we're going to get there. And then here comes the rain. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming our way tomorrow. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be windy. Temperatures are going to drop lower than a gopher's basement. Big change coming. Forecast details are coming up. 3 of the 4 teams have punched their ticket to their respective league championship series. There's just one series left to go, but the Dodgers and the Braves have moved on in the National League and the American League. The Astros, who they're going to play, we won't know until tonight. We got sports to get to, plus we'll preview the Seahawks and the Vikings. And speaking of sports, in the back half of the hour, it's our friend Arch Ecker. We haven't had a chance to visit with Arch since late February, early March, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. And he's a great guy. We miss Arch, and since we can't really watch hockey right now, we can hope we can watch hockey come December. We can at least talk hockey, and we're going to do that with Arch Ecker in the back half of the program, entertaining conversation. All right, let's take our tour. What do we got going on out there? Well, that's what we have going on out there. Still waiting for the sunrise to happen officially, although it's bright enough to see what's going on. Sunrise this morning at 7:12, sunset 6:23, 11 hours and 11 minutes of daylight. We'll be under that 11-hour mark by the time we visit on Monday of next week. Beautiful view of the valley. Look at the high clouds. We had a gorgeous, gorgeous sunset yesterday. We don't normally get pretty sunsets because it's basically because of the outlay of the land. The sun gradually rises over the East Wenatchee bench in the morning, and we get some beautiful sunrises. The sunset's more like a light bulb turning off, but with the high clouds yesterday, it was very pretty. The sunset right around 6:15 or 6:20 last night was something to behold. Okay, let's see where Megan decides we want to pay a visit. Using our high-definition PTZ cameras, she says, let's go see Omi Gardens. Well, we're not seeing Omi Gardens. You can't see Omi Gardens. It's our Omi Gardens camera. Doesn't look like there's a spill gate to be had there. Opened up at Rocky Reach Dam. Nice view there. Looks like it's moving around a little bit. Didn't see any wind. I wonder what's causing that to happen. But a cool view there as we look up the Columbia River to Lake Antioch. Can't quite make out the Baker Flats Industrial Park. There we go. Now we're off to, let me think. She may have pulled a fast one on me here. That's either the Upper Butte pointed towards Waterville or possibly even Billy Goat. Megan, help me out. That is the Upper Butte. Good for me. I got the first guess right anyway. But we're not looking at Lake Chelan, which is almost about 90 degrees to the left of us. That would be the lake. We're actually looking out over the Waterville area from that incredible view. Of course, if you've ever been to the top of the Butte in the Chelan area, it is a stunning view indeed. And we're looking to the southeast towards Waterville from the Lake Chelan area. Boy, these cameras are phenomenal. I want one. We've actually had viewers say, can I watch those cameras? And the answer is kind of sort of yes. On Channel 99, if you're a Local subscriber, Channel 99 has a random sampling of cameras that kind of flip in and out. You can check that out. But no, you can't log on and control them. That's a no-no. And camera number 4. Oh, my. Let me see. Let me think. Got to use my brain. That's Earthquake Point, so I'm saying that's Hose Landing. That's Stamen Flats. Well, pooey on me. Pooey on me? Yeah. So that's actually the Douglas County side of the river we're looking at, Stamen Flats. Nice view there. In fact, you can see almost all of Stamen Flats from the Desert Canyon Golf Resort. I discovered that last weekend. Good morning to our friends in the upper part of the area. You can see the park down there, the lower right-hand corner. Nice view from Stamen Flats, USA. Good work this morning, Megan. Always appreciative. We have a couple of slides to show for you from the National Weather Service. They're calling it a weather smorgasbord on Saturday. Webster's, by the way, defines smorgasbord as a luncheon or supper buffet offering a variety of foods and dishes such as hors d'oeuvres, hot and cold meats, smoked and pickled fish, cheeses, salads, and relishes. Or it's also a metaphor for weather. Yeah, we get a little bit of everything tomorrow. We're going to have rain, most of it in the morning. It's going to rain from about midnight to noon for the Wenatchee Valley. Could have some significant rain at times. And look at the snow level. Above the 4,500 foot mark in the Cascades, there's going to be a little bit of snow up there. Don't worry about afternoon thunderstorms for us. That's going to be much farther to the east. But tomorrow we get it all. We get clouds, we get rain, we get much cooler temperatures, and we get wind. In fact, our precipitation amounts, let's take a look at that. This is for tonight through Saturday night. So for the Wenatchee Valley, we could get anywhere from just a trace to anywhere from 1/4 of an inch of rain. And that's a lot of rain for us, 1/4 of an inch of rain. That's pretty much what it is for everybody, except out in the Idaho Panhandle into the southeast corner of our state, down to the Tri-Cities and the Walla Walla area. They could get a little bit more rain, but in the Wenatchee Valley, and we need rain. As you well know, we're in a drought. We're in a significant drought. So take a look at what you live. But basically for us here in the Wenatchee Valley and north central Washington, the rain will be from about midnight tonight to about noon on Saturday, and then intermittent rain off and on both before that time period and after that time period. Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling gives your home a hug, and here we go. One more day of the good stuff, right around mid-70s. Our record high for today is 79. Probably not going to get there, but that 79 yesterday was a bit of a surprise, so you never know. And then here comes the system. The ridge of high pressure will be gone Johnson by sunset tonight. Rain likely from, again, as I mentioned before, from about midnight tonight till about noon on Saturday. That 12-hour window, pretty much rainy. We'll get down to about 55 degrees. Not a lot of rain overnight tonight, but most of the rain tomorrow in the morning will be coming down at a pretty good clip, they tell us. And look at the high tomorrow, only 63 degrees. So we're going to go from a record high yesterday to a big temperature drop on Saturday. So we're looking at rain Saturday morning. It's going to be windy, especially Saturday afternoon, gusts near 30 miles an hour. This is a pretty good storm, packing a sizable punch. And everybody's going to get rain on Saturday. Now, Saturday afternoon, the rain should be tapering off. Saturday night, slight chance of light rain. Look how low we're going to get, 44 on Saturday night. And as we mentioned before, the snow level is going to be right around 4,800 feet. So the Cascade Passes won't going to get any snow, but if you're heading up into the upper elevations for maybe some hunting or something like that, you could get snowed on Saturday night. Sunday, cooler still, high of only 62. Can't rule out an occasional raindrop on Sunday. Also a little breezy at times. Monday is Columbus Day. We'll top off at 64 degrees with quite a bit of sunshine. And most of next week, just kind of a unsettled temperatures below normal. Then we'll dry back out by Wednesday and Thursday. A friendly reminder, we are deep into autumn now, even though the temperatures and the weather has not been indicating that. 9 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have a lot of news to get to on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. Looking for great food that's also an experience? Come on out to Blueberry Hills in Manson. Open year-round and named one of the top 4 restaurants in the state worth the drive for breakfast by the Seattle Times. Serving down-home scratch country cooking with huge portions at family-friendly prices. Great food and a fun experience for the whole family, and definitely worth the drive. For more information, check our website at wildaboutberries.com.
High clouds, we have 59 degrees outside of our studios, mid-70s, mixture of clouds and sun today. Rain tonight, rain Saturday morning, dry off a little bit on Saturday afternoon. We're also going to have quite a bit of wind and much cooler temperatures for the upcoming weekend. And we start out our news this morning with a tragic story out in the Columbia Basin. A Moses Lake man is dead and a woman is hospitalized after they were attacked by their own dog. This happened on Thursday morning. Kyle Foreman of the Grant County Sheriff's Office gave us these details.
I'm Kyle Foreman with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. This is an update on the incident which happened at the Harvest Manor Mobile Home Park about 11:20 this morning. That incident involved an animal attack, which involved a dog, which we now know was either a pit bull or a pit bull mix. The details of what happened and what caused the dog to get worked up are still under investigation. Detectives still have to interview the female witness, the female victim of this incident. I do have some sad news to report that the male who was involved in this incident has died from his injuries caused by the dog. The dog is now at a local veterinarian being treated for injuries that dog suffered during the attack. So the female is at Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. She's being treated for her injuries. Detectives have yet to speak with her and get a statement about what happened, so we have a better idea of what led to this attack today. Again, sadly, the male who was injured during the attack has passed away from his injuries. This is Kyle Foreman with the Grant County Sheriff's Office.
Sad story there. Chelan Douglas Health District reporting now an additional death from COVID-19. That brings the total number of deaths in Chelan County to 18, 7 confirmed deaths in Douglas County. The Chelan County resident was a female in her 50s. The health district's total COVID-19 deaths now is at 25. The latest numbers of COVID-19 cases in our area saw an increase per 100,000 in the last week. The Chelan Douglas Health District reported yesterday that in the weekly count that ended Wednesday, the count went from 114.4 cases of COVID-19 per 100,000 to 136.8 cases per 100,000. That somewhat offsets the gains from 2 weeks ago. That's when our area had 162 cases of COVID-19 per 100,000. That rate is important because until the Wenatchee Valley reaches just 25 cases per 100,000 over a 2-week period, important sectors of the economy like businesses and schools won't be deemed safe to reopen to large public gatherings. A Moses Lake home and hardware store is among 11 businesses penalized by the state for failing to enforce COVID-19 mask rules. The Department of Labor and Industries says employees at Penhalleric's Home and Building Center did not wear masks as required and did not enforce mask rules among visiting customers. The business also did not post mandatory signs warning customers of the requirement. Penhalleric's must pay $1,500 for the violations, which were noted by L&I investigators between July and September. Other businesses cited were in Spokane, Ritzville, Auburn, Enumclaw, Chehalis, and Olympia. Speaking of masks, in the Wenatchee Valley, 93% of shoppers are observing mask rules when they go into local stores. That's one finding of a survey conducted in late September by the Chelan Douglas Health District. The sample was almost 2,500 people, was observed shopping in 12 cities. The findings weren't quite as good among store employees. That mask use there is at 90%. Masks and social distancing are the recommended tools for slowing the spread of COVID-19 in the public, and executive orders from Governor Jay Inslee make mask wearing mandatory for both retail workers, and customers. Voters in Douglas County can expect to start casting their votes in less than a week from now. Douglas County says ballots will be mailed to registered voters on October 13th, that's next Tuesday, and that's 3 days ahead of the statutory start for the 18-day voting period. Ballots from Chelan County and all others are due to be mailed by October 16th. That's next Friday. Now, there's still time to check your registration through the Washington Secretary of State's office. That's votewa.gov. The last day to register for this election is October 26th. The city of East Wenatchee is looking for some Christmas cheer and If you've got a good-sized fir or spruce tree growing on your property and you want to get rid of it, the city will take it off your hands for free, and they'll use it as the official holiday centerpiece. They'll even get rid of the stump for you if you want. Trees should be 25 to 30 feet tall, and if you can help, get in touch with the city at 884-9515 if you have a tree that fits the bill, and you don't have to be a resident of East Wenatchee either. If the first weekend of October is any indication, look at that. Getting out to see the leaves changing colors is going to be wildly popular this year, maybe too popular. The Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest Service says this was especially true on the North Cascades Highway, when a Forest Service count last weekend showed more than 1,500 people at the Rainy Pass picnic area and 732 cars at the Pacific Crest trailhead. The Forest Service says parking will be extremely difficult at all its trailheads, and not parking in designated areas will get you a ticket. Also, visitors should not be walking on the highways or in the roads, and drivers be extra alert for pedestrians. Of course, if you plan on going to the North Cascades Highway this weekend to look at the leaves change color, you will be getting snowed on Saturday. A heads up there. That's a look at what's making headlines on this Friday. We will have a complete newscast with all the latest news that you need to know from around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington. We'll have it for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And with the preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, our unseasonably warm and dry weather is coming to an end beginning later today. I'll have your wet North Central Washington weekend weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will have all the latest news on the Major League Baseball playoffs and from the Seahawks coming up in sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. If I'm not watching the baseball playoffs, I'm watching the news. The Yankees and the Rays play at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Heads up, Grant, I won't be watching the news at 5. Sorry. I'll tape it and watch it later. And you can watch it on your smart device. If you have a smart device, we have our news up and running on all of our platforms, our homepage. We have a link to our Facebook page. We have it on our YouTube page. So you can watch our newscast really whenever you want. You're not locked into that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock time window. At the bottom of your screen are all the ways you can get a hold of us. You can contact us via our website, via our Facebook page, or you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. 3 of the 4 teams in Major League Baseball have punched their tickets to their championship series. We'll talk about that when we get to sports in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you will love having midwifery care.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
We're back 19 minutes after the hour on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Coons. Let's do sports. The Dodgers advanced to their 4th National League Championship Series in the last 5 years. No real problems with the Padres. Last night, the final was 12-3, and so they sweep San Diego. Jock Peterson's 2-run base hit highlighted a 5-run third inning. L.A. left little doubt that it would move on from their National League Divisional Series. Will Smith went 5 for 6 in the game, 3 RBIs. Cody Bellinger also drove in 3 runs. The Dodgers remain unbeaten in the postseason this year. Who are they going to take on? The Braves. From Atlanta in the National League Championship Series, the Braves sweep the Marlins. The final, 7-0 yesterday. Dansby Swanson continued with a hot bat. He went 2 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs. He hit .400 in the series. Kyle Wright worked 6 innings of 3-hit shutout ball on the mound for the win. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series Monday on Fox. The time yet to be determined. There will be a Game 5 between the Yankees and the Rays. New York stayed alive with a 5-1 win over Tampa Bay last night. New York starter Jordan Montgomery pitched 4 innings of 1-run ball. Chad Green, Zach Britton, Aroldis Chapman shut the door from there to force a Game 5. Luke Voigt and Gleyber Torres did the damage at the plate. They each had home runs. The decisive Game 5 today at 4:10 on TBS. Houston will await the winner of that game for the American League Championship Series. The Astros beating Oakland Thursday. The final 11-6. Carlos Correa's 3rd-run home run and a 5-run 4th inning spelled the difference for Houston. The Astros reaching the ALCS for the 4th consecutive year. Game 1 will be Sunday on TBS. Seahawks continue preparations for their Week 5 matchup. Minnesota coming to town Sunday night. Seattle is off to a 4-0 start. The Vikings have struggled at 1-3, but I think they're better than that. Seahawks defense will have its hands full with the NFL's leading rusher, Dalvin Cook. The Minnesota running back has 424 yards and 6 touchdowns. Linebacker Bobby Wagner says Cook is hard to tackle.
But now you just have to bring your feet. He's a guy who's going to continue to run his feet on contact, and so I think that's the reason why he's, breaking so many tackles, is because guys are hitting him and stopping, and he's keep going. And so, it's definitely fun to watch. Watch him run the ball, and so it's going to be, fun to play against him. Get in the backfield and really just tackle him. So I think it's just, being disciplined on your tackling plan, and making sure you drive your feet and not let him keep going.
Cook leads the league in broken tackles. They keep track of these things. He has 21 on the year. Seattle coach Pete Carroll says the Vikings use Cook in a lot of different ways so they can utilize all of his talents.
He's really explosive. He's got great speed. He's not the fastest running back in the league, but he plays like it. He's such a quick accelerator that the whole field is available to him on any play. He can wind up on a play that starts wide to the right, all the way going out the back door. He's done that multiple times, and if he's running an inside play, it could wind up being an outside play in either direction. He's very creative and very explosive, and obviously looks like he's in great shape and really fit and ready to handle it. And they can throw the ball to him, and he's really dangerous in the open field. So he's an excellent football player. They create the balance that an offense can have by having him in the backfield, and it's a real good part of their game. It's really helping their play action game too.
Biggest reason the Seahawks are 4-0, well, who's kidding who? It's Russell Wilson and the Seattle offense. Wilson says he thinks this offense is the best that he's seen in his 9 years in Seattle.
I think we're playing on the highest level we've ever played. I think, in terms of what Shadi's calling, he's doing a great job of mixing it up and challenging the defenses and everything else. But then also, on top of that, our playmakers, our players that we have, just the versatility at all positions, at the receiver position, tight ends, running backs, everybody all together. It's been special. We've had some good ones before for sure too, and so I think that guys like DK and Tyler, they're as good as it gets. And guys like Doug Baldwin in the past, he was pretty amazing. Curse made some clutch plays for us too. But then I think as we think about the clutch players that we've had over our time, obviously Marshawn. We've had some great players, for sure before. But I think the collective group that we have too as well is really great. And I think also too, the amount of work and studying and everything that we've put into it. What you put into is what you can get out of it, and I think that's what we've done.
Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer says the biggest thing he's seen from the play of Russell Wilson is Wilson's ability to see the field.
But he's just playing with a lot of decisiveness. And I've always said it this way, Tim, I think when you watch a quarterback, everybody watches the ball and they see where it's going, but watch the quarterback's footwork, watch his back foot at setup, and you can kind of always see how well they're seeing the game. If you see his back foot hit and the ball come out, or you see his back foot hit and maybe take a hitch or a reset and the ball come out quick, that means he's seeing things well. When you see quarterbacks back, then they kind of start shaking their feet a little bit and they're like, oh man, I don't know. That means they're not seeing things very well. If you go watch Russ, he's getting that ball in his hand fast because he's seeing things well. He's got a great feel for what teams are doing to us, and he's working progressions. And when he does that, he's really dangerous.
Seahawks and the Vikings, Sunday Night Football on NBC. They'll kick it off at 5:20. Here's what we have for the sports schedule over the weekend here on this very television station. It begins tonight. We got high school football. The Panthers taking on the Davis Pirates. Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom with the play-by-play. 6:30 airtime tonight. Wenatchee and Eastmont meet in Big Nine girls soccer Saturday afternoon at 2. Then at 7, our first ever broadcast on a windy night of racing. for the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval from back on June 27th. Sunday is Wild. Ha, ha. Nice play there. Double feature, Wenatchee Wild hockey. First at 2, we got Wenatchee and Merritt, and then at 7, it's the Wild and the Penticton V's. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday, the 9th day of October. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Leif Erikson Day, because most experts agree that Leif Erikson and not Christopher Columbus may have actually been the first European to have set foot in North America about 500 years before Chris and his crew did the deed. Nobody really knows a great deal about Leif Erikson. I mean, he was born like 1,000 years ago. They didn't keep close records of things back in, the 10th century, but most people agree that Leif Erikson probably beat everybody to the punch. Why is it October 9th? Well, it's not because it's Leif Erikson's birthday. Nobody knows when that is, for that matter. But they do know that the very first organized immigration from Norway to the United States, taking place in the early 19th century, happened. They set sail on October 9th, and so they call it this. Not surprisingly, this is a big day in the upper Midwest. In Wisconsin and in Minnesota, they celebrate Leif Erikson Day because, of course, they have a large Norwegian population, people of Norwegian descent. By the end of the 1950s, 7 states observed, they recognize the day. It's not like banks are closed and stuff like that today. The states that observe, or at least recognize Leif Erikson Day: Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Illinois, Colorado, California, and Washington. Us. Leif Erikson. Probably beat Chris to the punch, but we won't get into that. All right. Today in history. Happy birthday, Yale University. It started as the Collegiate School of Connecticut. Then they renamed it Yale University because some guy named Yale wrote a big fat check, and that big fat check cleared the bank. And the people who ran the university said, "Thanks, Mr. Yale. We're going to name our university after you." Chartered in Old Saybrook, Connecticut, now New Haven, Connecticut, on this date 319 years ago today. Yale's done pretty good for itself. 5 U.S. presidents, 5 of them graduated from Yale University, 20 United States Supreme Court justices, 31 living billionaires are alumnus of Yale University. Many, many heads of state went to Yale University, not just here in this country. And of course, Yale University is home to Handsome Dan, the Bulldog. Happy birthday to Yale University. And finally, October 9th, 1919, 101 years ago today, that's the 1919 Cincinnati Reds. And 101 years ago today, the Cincinnati Reds crushed the Chicago White Sox to win the 1919 World Series. And people went, wait a minute here. You're fairly familiar with the Black Sox scandal. Both the White Sox and the Reds clinched the pennant a number of weeks before the World Series, so everybody knew what the matchup was going to be. The White Sox were clearly the superior team. The original betting line was the White Sox easily defeating the Reds, but by the time the first game of the World Series was played in 1919, the Reds were the favorites and the White Sox were the underdogs, and nobody seemed to pay much attention to it, of course, as it turns out. The White Sox they threw the World Series. But Cincinnati still, they won. They just didn't win fair and square. They don't care in Cincinnati, the Queen City. They still consider themselves the champions of the baseball world of 1919. Birthdays, wow. John Ono Lennon, would have been 80 years old today. I was thinking about this last night, listening to some John Lennon music. Little Beatles, but mostly John's solo work from the 70s. John Lennon has been dead almost as long as he was alive. John Lennon, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and a legend, of course, assassinated on December 8th, 1980 at the age of 40. John Lennon would have been 80 years old today. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, class of 1987 with the Beatles, and 1994 as a solo artist. A flawed hero, but a great musician. A flawed man, but a great musician. The music lives on. We miss John. Speaking of Johns that we miss, John Entwistle, another Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, known affectionately as the Ox, considered by many to be the greatest bass player in rock and roll history. He was with The Who his entire career. He had the misfortune of being a pretty good songwriter in a band that had a really good songwriter, John Entwistle, born in the state of 1944, died of a drug overdose in Las Vegas at the age of 57 in 2002. He, of course, is also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So is Jackson Browne, who's 77 years old today, the singer, songwriter, and guitarist. There's a lot of Jackson Browne albums out there. There are two that every decent record or music fan should have. One of them is The Pretender, and the other one is Running on Empty. They're both works of genius. The great Jackson Browne, singer-songwriter, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2004. He's 77 years old today. And Tony Shalhoub celebrates a birthday today. He's 67. We all know him as Monk. For the role of Monk, the title role of Monk, which is still a very entertaining show, Tony Shalhoub was nominated for the Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series for 8 years in a row, a remarkable record, and he won it 3 times. And Monk is a good show. I really enjoy it. He's 67 years old today. We are going to take a break. Mike Mignotti's got an opinion. He's going to reminisce about his rebellious youth in New Jersey in the late 60s and early 70s. And then Arch Ecker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, because we miss Arch and we wanted to catch up with him. So we did. He's coming up as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
In a world of uncertainty, public transit remains a safe and effective way to travel. Throughout the day, Link staff members clean and sanitize buses between routes. In addition, all our drivers and staff members are wearing masks, and we ask that all riders do too. While riding Link Transit, we ask that you observe social distancing guidelines whenever possible. Ride smart, stay safe, and be healthy. Link Transit, caring for our communities.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Downtown Manson is Washington's best-kept wine secret. With 2 locations in Manson, Radiance Winery is open to serve you all winter long. The winery, nestled in the hills of Manson, features ample outdoor space for families to enjoy a bonfire, s'mores, and their famous hot spiced wine. The downtown location features the largest indoor tasting room around. In addition to handcraft artisan wines, Radiance Downtown offers draft beer, a tasty food menu, and a number of screens for live sports viewing. It's about time you had a taste of Manson.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Hello everyone, Dr. Glenn Hoey here, voted World's Best Medical Professional. The reason why is that we get to the root cause of the problems that concern you the most. So join us, call us today, 662-1302.
When you or your family's physical health is compromised and you need medical supplies, Value Plus Medical Supply is where you turn for solutions. All of our staff has a medical background assuring you the highest quality of customer service. Stop by Value Plus today.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I often think about the social upheaval in the 60s, and I consider those days against what we're going through now. At least now, we're not having the assassinations we had back then. Then and now, there's a lot of similarities. Racial injustice, police reform, political division, but one thing I've noticed, in the 60s, it seems like it was us against the establishment. Now it seems like we're more against each other. Give that some thought. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I-dos to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Integrative Chiropractic Clinic and Rehab now offers more services. If you've been injured on the job, in an auto accident, have a sports injury, call today and try his wraparound services. Latimer Chiropractic Clinic has added a physician's assistant and a naturopath to their medical lineup. From needing stress relief from a busy life to looking at core health issues, stop by Latimer's Integrative Chiropractic Clinic on Mission, where they are committed to doing more so you can too.
We're back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As you've noticed over the last few weeks, as we've had guests come in and to converse with me on this program, everybody's been masked up because that's the way we have to do things nowadays. But sometimes having to do this is an aesthetic crime against humanity as a whole, because this guy, Arch Ecker, we don't get to see his beautiful mug because it's covered up by a Wenatchee Wild mask. But Arch has still agreed to grace us with his presence because we miss the big guy.
More than happy to be here. But you know what? These logos are absolutely striking. So
where do I get me one of those? Are those can I get one at the Wild office?
You sure can.
Okay, cool. Those are nice.
Yeah, they are. Actually, and this is just one of a variety. We've got, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 different designs as far as the masks go. And we've got a gator design as well for people that prefer that. So, yeah. Stop on by and we'll be happy to get you hooked up. I'm smiling under you.
Yeah, he's smiling. You
I really
can't tell.
am.
We miss you. Everything was just doing fine, and then March and everything, and it just stopped. Everything just stopped. We don't have a BCHL champion, a defending champion anyway, from the 2020 season. Things really went sideways real quick. The Wenatchee Wild were certainly just as affected as anybody else, but how are you feeling right now as we see maybe some light at the end of the tunnel getting going? Clarkie's going to have some players in a camp starting next week. How you feeling now, and how confident, Arch, are you that come early December we'll be playing hockey games that count?
Well, you know, all you can do is stay confident and work towards a goal that everyone desires. And I know that there's a lot of moving parts that have to be considered, and certainly we're no more in control of them than anyone else. But you know, what we can do is just stay the course and work under the premise that we expect to be playing hockey in December. And with that, as you mentioned, players will be coming in, and they'll be adhering to very strict protocols that are in place that are designed to ensure their safety as well as the safety of everyone that they come in contact with. And that's it. And then you just, one foot in front of the next and do the best you can.
Clark, as we mentioned before, camp begins next week, but the Wenatchee Wild, if things pan out the way they have it scheduled, won't actually start playing games in the British Columbia Hockey League until December. That's a long training camp, but there's some advantages to that, is there not?
Well, there can be. And certainly, obviously the teams up north are operating under a little different set of circumstances, having some, some actual games between each other and whatnot. But, there, like you said, there are advantages that can be taken. And, this isn't something that the teams often have the opportunity to even explore. Typically players report to camp and, within 5 days they're playing their first preseason games. And typically within a couple of weeks, the puck drops on the regular season. So with that not being in place, it creates opportunities that really allow coaches an opportunity to explore, expand, maybe try some things that previously they were handcuffed and unable to even look at or contemplate. So, it's an interesting time, and you know what, you just have to look at it as an exciting opportunity in terms of development for the players, because they don't get a do-over. I mean, they're 18, 19, 20, they're moving on. This year matters to them, and we need to do what we can as an organization to help enable and further that growth for those players.
Does that present a specific challenge to the Wild staff, to the fact that the players want to play hockey as opposed to practice hockey, so they're going to try and find a place to play as opposed to where they're just going to be practicing against each other until they can play a game?
Well,
does that make sense? I mean, hey, I want to play hockey. I don't want to practice hockey. I want to play against competition.
Of course, I think every kid probably feels that way, but at the same time, the coaches are, as you well know, we've got a pretty seasoned, pretty savvy coaching staff, and if anyone can find a way to maximize the hand that we're dealt at this point, it's this group. Chris Clark obviously is just, he was moved into the head coach position kind of on an interim basis last December, moved into that position for this season just a few weeks ago. Bliss, he may not be, quote, the head coach at the moment, but you know what? He's still the general manager, and he is as actively involved as ever. And so his influence and his fingerprints are right there. And, it's a team effort. I mean, you talk about team sports and, Lee Mendelson, Chris Clark, Bliss Littler, the three of those guys together in the same room, I'll put them up against anyone.
What do you hear from the league office, BCHL? They understand that we're kind of the outlier in the league. We have been, which is kind of cool. I like being the only American team in the British Columbia Hockey League. What kind of leadership or support have you been hearing from the BCHL itself in regards to the situation with Wenatchee Wild?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've spent a lot of the summer doing some different things. I've been kind of out of the office, been out of the loop a little bit. What have I heard? I've heard whatever you see on the social media.
Yeah.
That's what I know, and not a stitch more. But I know that the league is very active and doing what they can to support their member clubs, and they realize it's a little bit of an uphill battle for everyone, and everyone's going at it maybe with their own community and organization set in mind, in terms of some teams are charging players a little bit more than they might have ordinarily in order just to be able to function, and that's on a team by team basis. And I can't speak to any of that other than the league is supporting each team in whatever way they can to ensure their success and their viability through all of this.
So I suppose at this point we don't really even have a template of a schedule, right? I mean, that kind of stuff.
Well, you know what I think? I think the league had to come up with a handful of different scenarios because they don't know. I mean, none of us know. And so based on a potential of varying scenarios, I think they have maybe a few different potential layouts for how things could play out. But it's pointless to really contemplate or talk about a specific schedule at this point until we know. All I know is right now they plan on being able to play regular season games in December. That's what we're working towards. and that's our goal. That's everyone's goal.
For a guy who lives and breathes hockey, your passion for the sport is knows no bounds. You seem to be holding up okay, all things considered, because you haven't called a hockey game since March. You know, I mean, am I reading this correctly? Your body language and your eyes, or is this beating you up like a lot of people are getting beat up right now? How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing? Boy, I'll tell you, it's challenging on a personal level, but you know what? I mean, I have to look at it from a standpoint of, you know, I mean, you've got your issues, and everyone's got their issues, and you know, and I've got mine, and mine are no different, better, more challenging, less challenging. I mean, we've all got something we're going through right now, and you know, do I wish things were different? Of course, you know, but all I know is I'm very blessed to work for a fantastic organization with incredible leadership from top to bottom, and we're doing the best we can to continue working forward. I know the Wenatchee Wild are important to this community, and not just in terms of, you know, hey, it feels good to have something to do on the weekend to go to a game and hobnob with your buddies and whatnot, but beyond that, the economic impact that the Wild have on the community in terms of the fundraising opportunities that we create. And I mean, we generate a lot of dollars in the community. So it's important that we find a way through it. And you know what? We're doing everything we can to see that comes to fruition. And we got a great staff, great leadership. And like I said, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. So, you know, I'm not going to complain.
That's not really your style.
Not
Arch.
really.
Well, I have it here real quick. The Tampa Bay Lightning are the Stanley Cup champions. I talked to Bliss Littler on Friday, a little hockey talk. I said legit champions, considering everything that's going on. They had to stop, and they went into the bubble. And he said, yeah, Tampa Bay was, in his opinion, the best team in the NHL in the season that just concluded. Your thoughts on the season that just concluded?
You know what's interesting is Tampa Bay may have been the best team in the last two seasons. Because last year, the season prior, they had the best record in the National Hockey League, and they ended up being stunned in the first round and swept by Columbus, which no one saw coming, probably even Columbus. But they really got punched in the face on that one, and they came back this year, and they were ready to go. And you know, I don't care what anybody says about bubbles and how things were different and no fans and all that. You know, the Stanley Cup remains the most difficult trophy to win. It may have even been a little bit harder this year because they had the play-in rounds and all of that leading up to the fact they still had to win 16 playoff games to hoist that trophy. And were they deserving? Absolutely. They did it without their captain, Steven Stamkos, who only played in, a shift or two in the one game. Scored a goal, too. I mean, that's the kind of leader that guy is. But, yeah, they're a very deep club, and you know, and I'll tell you what, and I'm sure Bliss talked about this, but their head coach, John Cooper, Coop's been a winner for forever. And I first met Coop in 2006, 07. He was coaching the St. Louis Bandits, and I was working for the Santa Fe Roadrunners at the time, and we were division rivals. That's when I first met him, and then I had the opportunity to spend some time with him and his wife and his mom, actually, up in Fairbanks in 2007 when the St. Louis Bandits won the Robertson Cup. And of course, Pat Maroon of the Lightning this year was on that team as well with Coop. He was a winner in the North American League, went to Green Bay, won the championship there, went to Norfolk in the American Hockey League, won a championship there. And the only thing he was missing was a Stanley Cup, and that's not the case any longer. And you know, I couldn't be happier for him. I mean, at one time, being with the St. Louis Bandits, of course, the Wild had their own history with the Bandits, and don't really care for the Bandits a lot. And you know what? I hated the Bandits as much as anyone back in the day, just from the standpoint of that rivalry. But you know, for Coop to be able to ascend and to win that trophy, I'm really excited for him. And again, as to your question, yeah, I think 100% Tampa Bay deserved it. I think Dallas overachieved and was kind of lucky to even be there in that spot. But you know what? They put up a good scrap, and Tampa they found a way to get it done, and deservedly so.
And how many years has it been since a Canadian team won it all? Was it like the early I'm trying to remember, was it Montreal like 94 or something?
93. And 93? I'll tell you what, it's interesting. Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens in 1993. And, you know, there's always going to be just a hint of an asterisk, just a tiny one. Not a big fat one, but a little tiny asterisk, right? So can you even lowercase an asterisk?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. In 1993, the LA Kings played against the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals. A member of the Canadian staff had snuck into the Kings locker room prior to the game. And what they did was they checked all the sticks to make sure that everyone was up to snuff. Well, Marty McSorley, as it turned out, of the LA Kings, his stick exceeded the allowed curvature. But they didn't say anything about it. They waited until an opportune moment with a couple minutes left in the game and the Kings leading, getting ready to go up 2-0 in the series. Then they say, you know, we want to measure that guy's stick. They knew full well what was going on because of that illegal entry into the other locker room. And so they measured it and they go, oh, that's illegal. Power play, Montreal scores on it, forces overtime. And they went on to win. They won games 3 and 4 in overtime, also at the Forum, the LA Forum, and that was it. So that one always just sits a little funky with me. I'm born and raised Los Angeles, sure. Kings fan for life, yeah. And that one always just kind of. It's not as bad as the Tuck rule, which
we won't get into that one either. So,
but yeah, that one, yeah, and you know what? And they talk about it. And not just in Los Angeles, but in hockey circles. That there's a curse on, it's lighthearted, but, a curse on Canadian teams since they cheated their way into that cup. They haven't won one since.
It should be pointed out that there's less Canadian teams now than there were in 1994 as well, right? I mean, isn't there?
You know what? I don't know that that's true.
I'm not 100% sure.
Because the Atlanta Thrashers moved back to Winnipeg.
That's true. They did. That's right.
So I don't know.
We'll count it up. One last question for Arch Ecker, the Director of Media Relations and the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, and I'll let you just say whatever. You are as much a face of the Wenatchee Wild franchise as Bliss or Clarkie or anybody else. I'm going to leave the last thing to you as something. Give us Wild fans a little something we can hang our hat on as we look forward to an upcoming season. Arch, I'll just let you have the final statement, if you will.
I would just say that just to recap what I had talked about earlier. And that's that, this organization from top to bottom is filled with class individuals, right from the ownership to our general manager, head coaches, the office staff. I mean, everyone here has their heart in the right place to do the right thing for our community, for our players, for the team, for everyone involved. And we strive to move forward and continue to have a positive effect in the community. And we welcome anyone to visit and ask questions, but I got to tell you, there's just not a lot of answers. The big questions everyone's asking right now, God, I wish we knew. We all wish we knew. We just don't, but we're doing the best we can to work towards a positive finish, and God bless everyone for their continued support because it's been great.
Mask up and go see the crew and get yourself a Wenatchee Wild mask and drop by and say hi and let them know that we're thinking about them because we're all Wild fans in that respect. Arch, it's always great to see you, my friend.
You as well.
Yeah, as soon as we can make something happen, you're coming back, all right?
Sounds good. I'll be happy to come and report positive news the first opportunity we get.
And your invitation is always open to see me. You know that.
I know that.
Making his very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is Arch Ecker, and we'll be right back.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he's here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life channel.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
I love it when we set aside a little extra time on these editions of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, especially this time of the year, because it gives us one more chance to take a look around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Now that the sun has been getting the job done and has been for about 45 minutes, it is up. I like it when the sun comes up, and my understanding is the sun will be up all day until it goes down. Good morning, Wenatchee. Good morning, East Wenatchee. You can see the high clouds. We mentioned this before. Big changes, in fact, dramatic changes coming our way from Mother Nature's perspective. But this time tomorrow, it's going to be raining, going to be cool, going to be cloudy, going to be windy. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? I think it's the same cameras. I think she's going to move them on me. The Omi Gardens camera, which was originally pointed an hour ago at Rocky Ridge Dam, has now been flipped 180 degrees, and we're looking out over the beautiful Wenatchee Valley with the Stimmel Complex, the Otobashian Bridge, and Wenatchee proper. Can't really make out East Wenatchee. It's kind of tucked away in there. Camera number 3. I believe we're off to the Upper Butte. Was that the Upper Butte or was that Stamen? That was the Upper Butte, Megan? The Upper Butte camera. Looking down, that's got to be Lake Chelan? I'm assuming it's Lake Chelan, maybe the Columbia River. It's a body of water is what it is. Oh, the weekend can't come soon enough for me. Camera 4, we were at Stamen Flats an hour ago, and there we are. There's Stamen Flats. All of those beautiful, beautiful homes right along the Columbia River. Gorgeous area out there. You're, of course, looking out over the vast majority of what you're seeing is Douglas County with the Wenatchee Valley way off into the distance from our camera at Stamen Flats, not far before it's decision-making time. When you head up to Chelan, do you take the Navarre Coulee Road, or do you keep right on going to 97A through Knapp's Hill Tunnel and dump yourself off at Pat and Mike's? All right, again, a couple of slides to show for you. First of all, I love how the National Weather Service uses the term smorgasbord on Saturday, because we're going to get it all. We're going to have rain tomorrow morning, and then intermittent rain in the afternoon. It's going to be windy. It's going to be a lot cooler, and believe it or not, they could see some high elevation snow on Saturday night and again on Sunday night. Wow. Mission Ridge could get a little dusting of snow. I'm liking that. And the precipitation amounts, what are we going to get? There you go. Take a look at what you're going to see. Upwards of 1/4 of an inch of rain in the Wenatchee Valley, and we could use every last bit of it. We're looking at pretty much widespread rain from midnight tonight till about noon on Saturday, that 12-hour period. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time from the National Weather Service, and it looks something like that. A mixture of clouds and sun today, mid-70s. If you just joined us, we tied a record high yesterday. Thursday's high of 79 degrees tied a record high set back in 1988. So we set 2 record highs this week. We're done with that. Mid-70s today. Again, here comes the rain. Rain from midnight tonight till about noon on Saturday. It's going to be breezy. Look at the temperature variation. From 79 yesterday to 63 on Saturday. We should dry out Saturday afternoon, but it's still going to be quite breezy at times. An intermittent raindrop or 2 Saturday night. Sunday, cooler still. Dry out a little bit on Monday, Columbus Day. Tuesday, another system comes through. Gives us a pretty good chance of some light rain and a high of 62. We need the rain. We are in a drought. And, well, that sunny and warm, unseasonably warm, record-setting warm temperatures that we've had over the last 10 days are going to be a thing of the past. Everybody have a good weekend. Everybody have a safe weekend. And we will see you Monday. Go Yankees. Take care. Bye-bye.